sports are upon us as Petaluma boys lacrosse hopes to come off their most successful season in school history with another great year as they open up their year against the Branson Bulls. And a very good evening from Steve Ellison Field. I'm Griffin Epstein. It's good to have spring sports back in our life, and we start off Trojan Live coverage with one of the most successful spring sports teams last year, the MBL champion Varsity boys lacrosse team. What a year they had last year, but 9 seniors on that team. There's a lot of talent to replace, but there's also a lot of good players back on this Petaluma boys lacrosse roster. They're not as young as you'd think, and they're going to get a good challenge tonight in their opener against the very experienced Branson Bowl squad, a rising program in the North Bay. Petaluma and Branson, it's the season opener for both here on a February Friday night from Steve Ellison Field.
And we welcome you up top, Steve Ellison Field. It is a nearly empty stadium, but it is not lacking for energy from the players. Both sides look pumped up. You practiced the last couple months' condition for a moment like this, a game that finally counts. Petaluma in the white with the purple piping, Branson in the blue with the white piping. We are underway with the face-off, 4 quarters of 12 minutes. Dante Ratto comes up to take it for Petaluma, and the Trojan offense will get underway. Life without Isaiah Blomgren, probably the best Trojan player ever to come through this program. So that one is dislodged. Blomgren now playing lacrosse for Division I Mount St. Mary's in Maryland. But as we mentioned, there's still plenty of talent on this Trojan team. They are a little bit shorthanded tonight. Both couple athletes still on their winter sports, notably Dominic Butt still wrestling, and so the refs are going to have a conversation here. A couple other Trojans are still on the marine science field trip that was all this week in Monterey, unable to make it back in time. Gonzalez aggressive, and push-off is called on the Bulls. So the Trojans will take over. A little bit of a sloppy, choppy start to be expected. We expect some nerves. We expect some sloppiness. It's bound to be expected of the season opener, but this really sets the tone for the year. Trojans start up top. Fired and deflects back. Garrett Freitas with the shot for Petaluma. And again, Freitas trying to make some moves. One of the most athletic players on Petaluma. That one just skids towards the goal and wide. A challenge to pick it up for Ernie Gonzalez, who's one of those returning Trojans, but he's going to be getting a lot more action without all those 9 seniors out on the playing field. Trojans are going to rely on Freitas, no doubt, for a lot of scoring. Here he goes again, bouncing it and scoring. And the Trojans strike first blood on their 2019 season. And who else but Garrett Freitas, one of the most athletic players in a long time to come through Petaluma High. I think the best football player of the Vide Valley Athletic League this year. He was on the first team for VVAL in football, led the league in rushing, but his skills very much translate on the lacrosse field. He was brilliant and electric last year, and we should see even more of it from Freitas this year. Couple minutes gone, 1-0 here in the first quarter as the Trojans take the lead over the Bulls of Branson. First time these two have faced off in program history, but likely not the last, only separated by about 45 minutes. As an opening, and fired well wide, but the Trojans finding some room in and around the crease. But as we mentioned, we'll see some rougher plays. Neil Crudo, who's getting the start as a freshman, fires wide. And we have a very early timeout by Branson. Branson, a small school in Ross, California, just outside of Mill Valley and about 30 minutes north of the Golden Gate Bridge. Branson, a private school, only has about 350 students, pretty small, but they are building a lacrosse program, and similar to Petaluma, they have high expectations. Last year, Branson, relatively successful year, 8-8, 4-4 in a very good Marin County Athletic League, and they only had 5 seniors on their team last year, so there's a lot of experience left on this Branson team. They've only had 1 winning record in program history, but it was just 2 years ago. And they were a 12 seed in NCS Division II last year. Petaluma was a 6 seed. So Branson, a rising program. The Trojans have certainly put their name up there as one of the better ones in the region, especially after last year's astounding season, undefeated NBL champs and NBL tournament champs. And the game-winning golden goal by Isaiah Blumgren in overtime in the NBL tournament championship game last year. One to remember. That's going to be a penalty on Petaluma, and seen a lot on both sides early. Branson hasn't gotten an opportunity yet to even get into their offense. So the Bulls will hope to do that. The Trojans get it up. One of the most key returners for Petaluma is in goal. Zach Scher, the senior, had a fantastic year last year. In his first year as varsity goalie, was really an upgrade over the last couple years for Petaluma. And the Trojans expect to have a reliable force between the 2 posts. And there's Exhibit A as Scher makes the save. Good low probing shot by Branson, but Scher is going to need something good to get by him. So Freitas using that electric speed, right down the middle he goes. Finally lost it. That's more of the part of the game that Freitas will need to improve on. The athleticism by Freitas is unparalleled. He's going to be the most athletic player on the field tonight. But controlling and playing smart for his second sport is much more of the challenge. So the Trojans get it to the X. Trying the wraparound. Nice job by Branson there, crowding the crease. And it was dislodged from Gonzalez. One 0 the Trojans lead here in the season opener for both. An impressive play, bouncing his way through a couple Trojans. And in close, Scheer with the rejection. Zach Scher with an impressive save. It looked like a point-blank easy score for the Bulls. And Scher sent it back. So Branson will reset after the impressive block by the Petaluma senior keeper. We saw Luke George there with the opportunity. George has it again here for the Bulls. Head coach Cal Kennedy for Branson. They had a lot of energy before the game. They were hooting and hollering as they sent it over the net. It looked like Petaluma had control of it, and now Scheer will scoop it up. Branson wrapped their arms around a circle, got the guy in the middle. I don't know what dance that's called, but the energy was there and got Petaluma's attention. Dante Ratto started getting the Trojans pumped up, and he knew this game counted for real, the energy on the field. Gonzalez! It's off the post, I think. The keeper got a piece of it as well. Branson, a nice job picking it up, and they'll head the other way. For passing by the Bulls, Trojans got numbers with the talented junior Dante Ratto. Another varsity player that got plenty of time last year playing in some big moments. And the long sticker Dante Ratto gives it up to Freitas, and the Trojans settle it into their offense. 1-0 they lead here from Steve Ellison Field. Petaluma and Branson in the season opener for boys lacrosse, and it's the first spring sport for real at Petaluma High in any competition. Bobbled by Matt Bonsteger. That's a new varsity player, only a sophomore. The Trojans get it to the X, and now set up a play here you've worked on. Head coach Kevin Luchis for Petaluma, yelling them to work it. Keep on moving your feet, move the ball, don't stay still. That's what the lacrosse experts will tell you. And the quicker you go, you got all of a sudden your defender, your head's on a swivel and you don't know where the ball is, and suddenly it's in the back of the net.
Keep it moving.
Trojans certainly taking their time here. Gonzalez probing, heads back out. Freitas dancing. A dance number 2. Inside, nice save is made and scooped up. But the Trojans able to get it in near the crease and get an opportunity. Nice job being patient. There wasn't a lot there, but the Trojans waited their time and they were able to find an opening. 11 seniors on this Trojan team, 10 returners out of 19 players. Not bad at all considering the talent of last year's seniors. Still a lot that returns for Petaluma. This lacrosse roster is deep. JV team just established 3 years ago is really helping out too in developing Petaluma lacrosse. What a move inside. And the ball ends up on the turf and Cher picks it up. Well, there's bits of opportunities for the Bulls, but they've been sloppy finishing early, unable to find a lot. Cher gets it to Ratto, one of the captains for Petaluma. Ratto, wide of the net. Bulls captain Pierce Sanderson. They've certainly looked a little bit more nervous early here, even with their experience. High expectations for them. Petaluma's looked a little bit more free-flowing. They've controlled play early, but a nice job by the Bulls here in a zone defense. Not allowing a lot of openings for Petaluma, and there's some sloppiness courtesy of the Trojans. 1-0 the score here. Very quiet night at Steve Ellison Field. It's good, maybe 20, 25 people on a Friday night, but the rain has held off. That is the good news, and is expected to hold off throughout the game and come later in the evening, but the torrential storms that have dumped the North Bay and most of the Bay Area for the last week, holding off for this game and likely going to hold off for tomorrow night as well. We'll be right back here at Steve Ellison Field for the NCS quarterfinals for girls soccer. It should be an electric atmosphere as Petaluma faces off with El Cerrito, and the Trojans hoping to go to the NCS semifinals. What an accomplishment that would be. They still have not lost a game all season long. Should be a thriller between those two. They played back in December. Trojans won 3-2 in a comeback win. This game, just like that soccer game, up on our YouTube channel. That's where all our sports coverage will be. So this one from the X, sent across, just fired, hoping that Cher was unaware, but so far Zach Cher has been the most aware player on the field. Pitching a shutout early. A tap on the line there. You gotta not step on that yellow line. So it was Dominic Schaefer, better known as SP, a Trojan senior, new, part of 9 seniors in the purple and white. All right, some sloppiness by the Bulls. They turn it over. A lot of early turnovers on both sides. Not a surprise. This is not the crisp passing that we'll get by the end of the year. And last year really took Petaluma some time to develop. They lost 3 out of their first 4 to the year last year to such a talented team. Felt like things were going sideways. Petaluma entered NBL and never lost again all the way until the quarterfinals of NCS. Loose ball, nice job by the Bulls, able to scrap it up. It was Will Morris with the loose ball. The Bulls trying to get their first goal of the 2019 season. So we're halfway through this first quarter. Out to Luke George. He leads this offense.
Down, keep him outside.
No room for George. Takes a hard hit, holds on. Well, this is exceptional defense by Petaluma. The Bulls forced to get it out wide. Pass across, George, but shares. Big goalie net is there to welcome it. The Bulls will need something better to beat Zach Scher. Freitas fires well wide. That one is out into the netting. It will stay Petaluma ball. Neil Crudo retrieved that one. He is the only freshman on this team. And you know, when there's a freshman out there playing some talent, Trojans have a couple underclassmen that are going to get a lot of playing time. The Petaluma Lacrosse program, starting with the younger kids at the River Cats, it really developed some exceptional players on both sides of the river, both at Casa Grande and at Petaluma. We'll dip into VVAL a little bit more, but expect Casa and Petaluma to be up at the top. Jacob Daniele fighting on the flank. Into Gonzalez, short and speedy, takes a big hit. And he lost it. There is the horn. That is the end of the first quarter. Low scoring, good defense on both sides. A little bit of rust, a little bit of nerves on both sides as well. But the Trojans in control at the end of 12 minutes. It's the Petaluma Trojans 1. The Branson Bulls 0. Getting ready for the start of the second quarter here from Steve Ellison Field. Petaluma leading Branson 1-0. The Trojans defense so far shining bright. Little opportunities for Branson. They've only got 2 shots on goal. Zach Scher has done a nice job. Petaluma offense has struggled to get into a lot of a rhythm, but you got to be patient, especially early in a game, and the goals will open up over the course of the evening. Dusk has descended here on this late February Friday night. Trojans will not have another game all the way into March. It's an early prelude to the rest of the year, but an important one to set the tone for the rest of the season.
There you go. That's a fast break.
Trojans win another face-off.
I'm just kidding. That was a joke.
As they switch sides of the field. Trojans get it to the X. A little bit of a screen. You want to get players in and around that crease. Branson doing a nice job cutting off that center of the field. It's an awkward shot. The stick was hit as the shot was fired by Andrew DeVanis. Freitas battling. His sticks hit as well. Nice job by the Bulls getting those sticks up in the air, and even if they can fire off the shot, Trojans not able to get a lot on it. Back to another experienced senior, Gary Elwood, 3-year varsity player. One of a couple of them on this Trojan roster. They've been around a while. A program that hasn't been around a while. This program has just been around 11 years, started 2008, previously a club team. NCS for boys lacrosse And girls lacrosse has only been around since 2004. It's a relatively new sport in Northern California, but it has really exploded. It's the fastest growing sport in America. And the success here in Petaluma has been remarkable for both the Trojans and Casa Grande, the two best lacrosse programs, probably north of the Golden Gate Bridge, you would say. A couple good teams in Marin, but I would say north of Marin, there's no one better. And Petaluma and Casa Grande, who they played 3 times last year. There's nothing short of exciting. Mentioned that NBL Tournament Championship game. Trojans won 10-9 in overtime on a golden goal by Isaiah Blomgren. In a moment that will be marked in Trojan lore forever. Petaluma also beat Casa the 2 previous times and clinched a league pennant, which was only their second in school history. Trojans are hoping for a third and back-to-back this year. So this offense has got plenty of possession, not a lot of good looks. Now you saw it, Trojans getting it inside, at least getting a look. Jacob Daniele had a look, but set it a little high. Trojan Jr. Mentioned this young program, even at Petaluma and in the state, but head coach Kevin Loches has been here the whole time, from birth now to a bubbling boy, a man of a program, you could say. I was really taken off under his tutelage, and it's something that the Petaluma community is no doubt proud of. Aggressive defense by the Trojans. What a play! Dante Ratto, the big crunch, and then to take it away, he's tripped up. As the Trojans will keep it. Exceptional job by Ratto. Not only did he make the hit, but it's only one thing to make the hit and then take the ball away, get the steal as well. Ratto, a very talented player who will be featured a lot more. A long sticker for the Trojans. Got the extra long stick, and that means you could do extra as a defender. And extra is expected of you. Now, for all the energy Branson's brought out, the offense for them has been very shaky. They've really struggled just to connect passes and get into a rhythm offensively. For the times they have, Zach Scher has been there. 4.5 minutes gone here in this second quarter. And a low-scoring affair so far. It's Petaluma 1, Branson 0, and Garrett Freitas with the lone goal for the Trojans. Scher taking his time. Once he lets go of the ball, Trojans have 10 seconds to clear it. Make a nice pass like that. You don't even have to worry about that. And all Petaluma has to do is get in the box, which is the red line right before the 30-yard line. After 5 more seconds. Inside, Branson has done a nice job in the crease. They've got some height. This is one of the taller ones on the Bulls. And Morris. And using their height, using their physicality to their advantage. Defense can come on the road, even with nerves. Your defense can always be strong. So far on both sides, that has been ringing true. George spinning, turning. Exceptional dance moves by George. But the Trojans have not been fooled by any fancy moves on the dance floor so far. Right on the Bulls. Schaefer with the good defense there. This one fired. Scooped up by Scher. No problemo for the keeper. He makes his 3rd save of the night. The Trojans get it up quick to Elwood. Maybe a chance for an opportunity if they get it in quick, as Elwood is hit hard. His Stick goes flying in the air. The Trojans maintain possession in front and scoring! What a play from the X. Backdoor pass. And the Trojans find Andrew Davidas, the young sophomore, his first varsity goal, and it's 2-0 Petaluma. Davidas doubles the lead for the Trojans, and credit to the fast push for Petaluma. They've struggled when the Bulls have gone into their defense and haven't been a lot of openings, but there Petaluma pushes it up. Defenders weren't back for Branson, and an exceptional backdoor pass to find Davidas streaking right in front of the crease, and an exceptional finish as well. The Trojans promise. How are they going to look after so many exceptional players gone from last year's exceptional team? So far, so good. But a long way to go in this one and a long season as well. 8 minutes gone, 4 minutes remaining here in the first half. Trojans looking for more. As it bounces right in front of the net. It's dislodged. It's Ernie Gonzalez. Nearly got another opportunity for Petaluma. And it's knocked out here. All right, turning chilly here at Steve Ellison Field. It's quiet. Beautiful new turf, just a little bit over a year, but after Petaluma had to play at Lucchese Park previous to last year with all this rain, they would no way be able to play at the old Ellison Field with artificial turf. Rain, sleet, snow, hail. It was hailing earlier today. No worries. Branson able to settle into this defense. This has been the struggle for Petaluma, and a turnover as the Bulls go the other way. Well, that's the physicality by the Trojans you want to see if you're Coach Lucius, though apparently it's a little too much. Penalty on Petaluma, and when the ball hits the ground next, a man will head into the box. Oh, it's so quiet you can hear the call and you can hear who it is. And it is slashing called on Garrett Freitas. So one of the Trojans' most athletic players will be off. And Petaluma will be a man down for a couple minutes. Branson will try to take advantage here as the Trojans only have 9 men out on the pitch. Inside, the deflection probably saved a goal. Nice job by the Petaluma defense. The Trojans active sticks early. Cristobal was the one that was able to get a piece of the stick, and the ball trickled just wide of a confused-looking Share. It's a power play here for the Bulls. And that deflects out, Trojan ball. Not what you want to have. If you're Branson and you get the man advantage, has to be demoralizing. Especially first game of the year has to be tough for them. Come in with energy, excited for the year, and all of a sudden you're not scoring. It becomes a monkey on your back. When are you going to score? And for Branson, they just need to get one, and maybe that will let the floodgates open for them. Speed down the field. And a low-lighting shot, skidded off a knee or a shoe of some sorts. As Daniele, who's been playing with a lot of energy, challenged Trojan Jr., returns to the varsity level with a good opportunity there. Freitas back on, and Petaluma returns to even strength. They lead 2-0 here at Steve Ellison Field. It's the season opener for both. Petaluma tried to start off on the right foot here tonight for their 2019 season as they enter into a new league in the VVAL, but It won't look very different from last year. In fact, it's almost identical. Justin Siena, the only added team. Is that what is fired? And outside the net, and Petaluma, some of the Petaluma fans thought that was a goal by Gonzalez. As you saw the net react, but outside the goals, Gonzalez misses. Move inside, and you hope to get the back door there. Some open blue jerseys, too, on the far post, but Branson unable to get it across the crease, which is tricky. Didn't want to risk it. But they're going to need to take some risks and be a little bit more adventurous because it's just not working for them right now. Timeout called by the Bulls and their head coach, Cal Kennedy. So Branson looking for some solutions on the offensive end. Meanwhile, the Trojans have added another goal, and they lead 2-0 here late in the second quarter. Branson back on offense after the timeout. They don't play all the way until 27th of February, nearly 2 weeks, till they face Stewart Hall back in Ross, their beautiful leafy campus. Petaluma, we mentioned, does not play all the way until March, as that one took a deflection in front of the net, and will head out. Will stay Branson ball. But a better look that time for the Bulls. Trojans don't play all the way until March 5th, and they're going to face one of the best teams in the Bay Area in the Acalanes Dons of Lafayette. That will be a big challenge for the Trojans, so they'll make the trip there. They have 3 straight road games after this. Aggression by Petaluma, 3 men on 1 is not a recipe for success if you're Branson. Freitas gets the steal there. The Bulls have just not been smart running their offense at all. Final moments here of this second quarter, and the Trojans trying to extend their 2-0 lead. Inside Gonzalez, he was stonewalled right at the crease. Oh, Gonzalez wasn't afraid to go one-on-one with the keeper right outside the crease, but nice job by Branson. They cannot afford to allow much more, or they're going to be in dire straits considering their offense they've had. You might say, what offense? For the blue and white. Well, the screen. A little pick and roll, but it doesn't work out. Freitas goes right through it. Behind to the X. Fired. And it deflected off Shear's net, loose, and Shear nearly got on it, but now it's just a crazy affair in front of the net there. A lot of sticks trying to stab and pick up that ball. In the end, we'll stay with the Bulls. Spin move and then the pass too high. The execution just has not been there yet for Branson. That was Scott Roach who fired it a little too high on the pass. Final minute here, or that is it for the first half. Petaluma scores 1 in the first quarter. They add 1 in the second quarter, and the defense has been dominant early for Petaluma. We've reached the end of 24 minutes here from Steve Ellison Field. 24 minutes to go. It's the Petaluma Trojans 2, the Branson Bulls 0. Ready to go here. 24 more minutes of lacrosse action for both of these teams in their season opener. 2-0 lead for Petaluma. What adjustments will we see out of the locker room. Should be very interesting. Branson nearly won its first face-off, but to no avail. Dante Ratto has been all over the field early for Petaluma. The junior brings a lot of energy. He's junior class president as well. He's been a good player early for the Trojans. Have been more energized, less nervous, shown better chemistry with their 11 returners, and so far so good. Bigger team this year, too, for Petaluma than years past. 19 players, 11 seniors, 10 returners. With all that experience, the hopes remain high. But we mentioned it, Casa Grande is going to be a challenge, and they certainly were competitive with Petaluma last year, as Branson has got it to the X here with George. What a play. Freitas showing he can play defense. New, he blocks, and now the speedy senior's got all the room in the world, fires and scores! That is absolutely brilliant. Freitas could just bump all he wants after that. Steal, scoop, coast to coast and score. Garrett Freitas, a one-man show, 3-0. Wow. And the energy that Branson tries to bring out, coming out of the locker room, Freitas saps that in an instant. What a play by the senior star, and what a year we expect him to have. Remarkable, and this place, which has been pretty quiet, got loud for the first time tonight. Freitas scores just a minute 30 into this second half. Petaluma's done an excellent job controlling possession, and it's face after face-off. They've been winning at that time. An infraction, they're not going to get it, but overall the possession for the Trojans has been good. They've had control of the ball, they've had control of this game. Fired, and there goes the shutout. Branson, a much-needed goal. As an opening on the right side, fired into the corner, and Cher has been proved that he is human. Goal scored by Andrew Cunningham. Branson quickly answers, and just 2 minutes in, we have as many goals as we had the entire first 24 minutes. So expecting a lot more fireworks this time. The offense is starting to warm up to the rhythm of the game. Even the Trojans, though they scrimmaged on Saturday against Tam, can't really simulate real game action, real game intensity, the feeling you get from it. And I think Branson on the same side as well. Took both sides a little bit to warm up, but they're warming up now. Freitas chips it back to Ratto. Play called out. Trojans done a nice job communicating on the defensive end, but you also got to play as one on the offensive end as well and piece those passes together. Otherwise, it's going to be hard to get what you want. Freitas already with 2 goals. He's looking for the hat trick. Crudo battling. Can't hold that ball, though. You got to keep it moving. Trojans slow it down here. Slow that offense down. It's going to be hard to find a lot of opportunities. Behind they go to Daniele. Curves his way around, finds an opening, and it heads out. Might have got a piece on it. Was the Bulls goalkeepers. Made a couple nice plays tonight. Theo Lesnar. The Trojans will get another opportunity. It's in! An odd-looking goal. It took a deflection forward Lesnar, and Petaluma has a quick 2 in the second half. Well, Matt Baumstegger just battling inside. Double team. Took a couple sticks, and somehow managed to work through the contact. Got a lucky deflection. And he has, the sophomore, has his first varsity goal. A good moment for the sophomore, and Petaluma's offense is definitely warming up. And they answer the Branson goal. 4-1 the score, 4 minutes gone, 8 to go in the third. Now, both sides have woken up, no doubt. It's what we expected. I don't typically see 3-2, 4-3 scores in lacrosse. Just often the winning score is going to get up to double digits or near close to that. Trojans averaged double digits goals scored last year. Even in their NCS quarterfinals loss to Miramonte, when their season ended, they put up 6 in a 12-6 loss to the Matadors. Petaluma got the 6th seed in NCS last year after winning the MBL tournament. Had a thrilling victory, another golden goal scored in the first round against University. And then they traveled to Orinda, where they fell to Miramonte. Their season ended, but Petaluma mentioned their amazing year last year. Top 100 team in the state. So that adds out. 14-4 overall last year with the Trojans. 8-0 undefeated in NBL tournament champions. 61st in California, top 200 in the nation. And 6th in NCS Division 2. There's only 2 NCS divisions. Crudo gets his stick on it, and here the freshman almost made that one very interesting as Lesnar having some adventures in the net early. The Bulls now trying to get back their offense after on their last possession they had their first goal of the evening. George. Experienced Bulls aren't going to go away. They're going to keep on fighting after frustration. A check there. George couldn't hold on to it. Get it back out. Ratto striking at the turf. On the battle here, no room to be had. Check inside, and Shayer picks it up. Oh, the Bulls, so much energy in the second half they brought. But there's just no room to move in this Trojan defense. They're checking, they're physical. And losing at that time was Alex Getty. Shares still got a hold of this one. Trojans' patient goalkeeper. But that time he was a little bit too patient. Got it cleared in 15 seconds. And he did not. So the Bulls keep possession. Halfway through this third quarter, 4-1 Petaluma. Mentioned the new VVAL. Most Petaluma sports teams having to make big adjustments in a new and improved league from the SCL, but Petaluma Cross, which played in the MBL, basically gets the same league. Only Justin Sienna is a new team, as that one's fired high. The Braves out of Napa will make it 6 teams in the VVAL. It's the exact same as MBL last year, which had 5 with the addition of the private Napa school. The rest of the VVAL teams, besides Petaluma Casa, Justin Sienna, don't have lacrosse teams. And Windsor, Rancho, Newman, the 3 other squads, and those are the only other lacrosse teams in Sonoma County. Hasn't caught on everywhere just yet. So if you want to play lacrosse at the high school level, you have to pick your school wisely. And likely going to be Petaluma Casa at the top. The Braves, not an especially strong program. Windsor was at the bottom of the league. Rancho has improved. They finished in 3rd the last couple of years to Petaluma and Casa. So keep an eye out on the hungry and always physical Cougars. But in all likelihood, it's going to be East versus West, Gauchos versus Trojans. They're going to face off twice. that will decide the VVAL title, and then there's a very good chance they'll meet up again in the VVAL Tournament Championship game, which will be the week after the VVAL season concludes. Petaluma faces Casa here. It'll be their senior night. It'll be a Friday night. It should be a great atmosphere for that one. It'll be April 26th, the final game of the VVAL season. And then the VVAL tournament, semifinals will be April 30th. The finals will be at the higher seed, May 3rd. And an NCS, which Petaluma certainly looks like they could participate again this year. And who knows, maybe as a high seed, depending on they fare, as that one is scored. Well, Branson has been looking on that right side. Last time, good physicality. The Bulls were unable to get through, but that time they score, and the lead is cut. 4-2 the score, and the Bulls are doing a nice job hanging around. They're finding some openings, running a little weave, and it's worked for them. 2 goals after no goals in the first half. It's 4-2 with 3 minutes remaining in the third. And the Trojans answer just like they did with the last Bulls goal. Freitas has 2 goals. Baumsteger with 1 and Devanis with 1. It's going to be Trojan ball. The energy and the intensity of this one getting ratcheted up a level as we get into the latter stages. All right. Casa game we were mentioning as well will also be the battle for the paddle, so that trophy will be on the line in that game as well. The East Side versus West Side Petaluma Lacrosse Trophy awarded. It's been around for about 5 years now for both boys and girls lacrosse, and that last game always decides who gets to hoist the trophy. It's an actual trophy. It's an actual paddle. This town divided by a river, divided by their 2 high schools and lacrosse teams. Well, the score is perfectly divided right now. It's Petaluma 4, Branson 2. Freitas with the ball in his hands again, or his stick, and he has been brilliant when he's at it. Gives it up this time, it's scored! Freitas the assist, and this time the goal comes from number 9 for the Trojans. So that would be Jacob Daniele. The talented junior scores, and it's 5-2. And when Branson has looked to get back in this game, Petaluma has shown the signs of experience. They have an answer every time. And once again, the energy of Freitas making that happen for Petaluma. But Daniele with an excellent finish, too. Top shelf howitzer of a shot. So with only a few minutes remaining in this third, 5-2 the scores you can see on that little plastic scoreboard under the purple awning. The Bulls win the face-off. And that is exactly what they cannot afford, those sloppy passes. They take up time, gets the defense set and confident, and even if you don't give it up, it's hard to find success that way if you're Branson. Really had a good year last year, and at Marin County Athletic League, which has 10 teams, Branson finished at 500 at 4-4, and right in 5th place. Finished at 500. They really didn't have a winning record until just 2 years ago in their program history. That dates back to 2004. They have built things up and had expectations coming into this year. The Trojans have as well, though. So far, they've been stronger tonight. Turnover infraction, Petaluma ball. Ratto dipping and darting. There's a hard check. Ratto goes right through it. Unavoided like there was nothing there. He's swatting away a fly. Ratto over the crease, loose and dangerous, and Trojans got a lucky deflection. They've already had one. They might have been looking at a fifth goal, or a sixth goal, I should say. Push on the Trojans, Branson ball. First time Petaluma will face Casa will be at the Gauchos field on the east side. That will be the 10th. So with them playing on the 26th, it's quickly gone in. And scooped away. Trojans might have a break. Trojans potentially will play Casa in 3 times in less than a month. VVL schedule's pretty condensed. It doesn't start all the way to March 27th. Well over a month from now. Petaluma will open against Justin Siena right here at Steve Ellison Field. Couple more non-conference games before that. Hard hit. It's Gonzalez. Ball is dislodged. Branson trying to increase the physicality and trying to make it tougher around the net for the Trojans. The Bulls push it forward. Now they have some numbers. They haven't found any success when this Trojan defense has gone set, but they're going to slow it down anyways. That shot fired, and Cher able to get a piece of it. Sanderson, the captain, with the shot there. Now over the middle, and dangerously, it comes all the way out. Sanderson. Over to Luke George. He's been at the center of the Bulls' attack all night long. He'll head to the X and hope for some action there. Winding his way back. A long sticks of these Petaluma Trojans running all sorts of trouble. What a goal, though. Hard to pick up if you're Cher. There was 3 defenders on him, but the Trojans were not guarding tight enough there. And George, just pure skill, able to work his way and score. And that's something you want to clean up if you're the Petaluma defense. You want Branson to at least use some teamwork to put it in the back of the net. But they have cut the lead again, 5-3. The Bulls have certainly found their stroke, and this game has picked up. And a Petaluma team that certainly has been in control cannot go on cruise control by any stretch of the imagination. We're in this one for the long one, as we should be nearing the near end of this third quarter. No clock in the stadium tonight, so they just await the horn. Freitas able to scoop it up. It's a melee in the middle of the field. Picked up by Crudo. Bounces in front of the net. I don't know if that was his intention or got deflected. Trojans trying to apply some defensive pressure. It makes it harder to clear. Gets in your head. Can possibly cause an infraction in either way. Add some physicality. In the arm ball card, it can cause a turnover as well, as I was going to say. And the proof in the pudding. Spin move by Freitas. Freshman Crudo's been out there the whole game so far. And the whole team's got 12 more minutes. Can the Trojans salt it away and get a season opening victory here at Steve Ellison Field? Or do the Bulls have a comeback in them? At the end of 3, it's the Petaluma Trojans 5. The Branson Bulls 3. 12 more minutes to decide things in the season opener here from beautiful Steve Ellison Field on a cool late February Friday night. Trojans will have 4 more non-conference games after this. At Coloni's on the 5th, at University of San Francisco on the 9th, and then they'll be back home. Their next home game, March 12th against Oak Ridge of El Dorado Hills. They'll start league play, but they'll throw in Miramonte, their old foe. They played twice last year. They'll come and visit Ellison Field on April 16th. 14 games on the schedule. It's not a lot of games that are scheduled in lacrosse, so everyone very vital for NCS for your season, and it makes a game like this all the more important, not just to set the tone, but when you look back, you're going to remember ones like this. Branson takes possession. They trail by 2. What do they have in store? 12 more minutes of offensive firepower. They scored 3 in that third quarter after not scoring any in the first half. Good defense here by Petaluma. That one skids back. That's going to head well out of bounds. And it's going to stay Branson ball. Little screen, give and go. Luke George being pressured. Fired right between Cher's legs. The lead's cut to 1. The second goal of the night for number 8 for the Bulls. It's Kenyon Graham. And just like that, 5-4 in a game Petaluma is controlled. They are now in a nail-biter. And that energy that we saw early before the game for Branson, it's coming out now positively, but early was adrenaline. We're seeing passes flying over their heads. Weren't getting anything going offensively. That's not the case now. Branson in our rhythm. Petaluma's had a response every time. Do they have another one? Freitas. Back to Baumstegger, who's got a kind of a lucky goal that deflected. His stick was hit. Confused the Bull goalie. That's the difference right now. Trojans swing it around. 3 goals for them as well in that third quarter. Gonzalez fires, top shelf finish early, and Gonzalez. What a move by the short but speedy and athletic senior. Penalty as well. We'll see if it's still a man down for Branson. It does not look like it. Late penalty right before the Gonzalez goal. If it was a reasonable penalty, then no player in the box for Branson. If it's non-reasonable, then that will put the Bulls down. And in fact, actually, I am mistaken, it is. So Branson not only will give up the goal, but they'll now be a man down, only 9 men out on the turf for the Bulls, and Petaluma a chance to get a little 2-for-1 here. The bus is turning on for Branson to take them back. Is it over for Branson, or do they have an answer? It's been a fun game here between these two. Freitas wins it, fires, inside, it deflects. Excellent lead off there, and a quick shot before the defense can set is what you want. Daniele, who has a goal tonight, with a good look. Back to Gonzalez, looking for number 2. Nice play by the goalkeeper. Branson will take control. Back and forth we've gone all game. Do the Bulls have an answer? 3 minutes gone, 9 minutes to go from Steve Ellison Field. That's too far, and a nice job by Petaluma. You want to run down those balls. Who's ever closest to the ball when it heads out of bounds, it's their ball. So Petaluma takes over possession there. It's effort plays that Lacrosse encourages so much on something like that. Ryan Ramos, the senior, who's now got it again with that good effort play. Helped Petaluma win the ball. That doesn't go in the stat sheet, doesn't get noticed a lot, but just helping give possession back to your team so important, especially in lacrosse. Is Ratto fires from afar. He finds Cash Money, and the Trojans have found Cash Money. The lead is 3. 7-4 the score, and I thought there was about 40 people in the stands, but there is that little extra seating area that's been added with the remodeled Ellison Field, and it's got to be a good 15-20 fans over there cheering as well, and Ratto has quickly asserted Petaluma's stranglehold on this one. The experience has been impressive by Petaluma. They have answered the call from a good and talented, resilient Bulls team. And the offense for the Trojans has been good at the right time. We were hoping we would survive without any rain in this game. Unfortunately, that's not going to be the case as the drops are falling from the sky. Still see the moon, but it is starting to drizzle here at Steve Ellison Field, and it's only expected to pick up throughout the night. So that could make it more challenging as well for a Bulls comeback. The rain, a slick turf. Oh, this field is in excellent condition only a year in. It's not disintegrated by any means. Sent to Gonzalez. And back to Daniele. Taken away. The upperclassmen have really shown tonight for Petaluma, but they've gotten good production from some underclassmen as well. This team is deep, and they don't even have a full roster. As we mentioned at the top of the broadcast, Dominic Butts, one of the Trojans' best players, is in Union City today for NCS Wrestling. And will likely be rejoining the team next week when wrestling will conclude. If you're not headed to state, it's almost a second goal, and the goal is knocked out. Looks like a hockey play. Slashing is called, and the Trojans will be a man up. As Daniele comes to readjust the net. And the slashing probably prevented the goal, so it's not the worst penalty in the world. But Branson is holding on by a thread now as the Trojans have upped their energy and offense in these final 8 minutes. As the drizzle intensifies to a rain. Steve Ellison Field is the scene here on the west side of Petaluma. Trojans in white, Bulls in blue. Petaluma leads 7-4. And they're looking for more. They've already scored twice here in the opening moments of the fourth. Slow start to this game. Bulls were shut out in that first half. They couldn't get anything going offensively. Trojan defense was stout. Zach Scher was good. We've seen much more offensive fireworks in the second half. Teams have gone back and forth, but every time the Bulls have scored, Petaluma's had a response. Mentioned Butts with the wrestling team, which is competing today and tomorrow at James Logan High School in Union City. And some good results to report already for the wrestling squad, as kind of expected what you expect. It's the first day, it's prelims. 3 Trojan boy wrestlers remain undefeated in NCS in the double elimination tournament. On to the quarterfinals, Nick Trabe, Colton Prieto, and Connor Pedersen, and they'll really be challenged by some of the best wrestlers in the area tomorrow, as Freitas is going through a maze of defenders before it's finally locked away. Exceptional moves and tips and darts by Petaluma senior. Ball is just lost, or so it appeared, but it's because of a cross check. Nice job by Bonstecker, taking the contact, taking the foul. Petaluma keeps possession here, and they're certainly happy to take their time and this one time is on their side, no doubt. Rain starting to subside, just a brief shower, at least at the moment. An opening, but clearing out. Whistles over and back is the call there. That getting it into the box. Branson ball. And taken away. The Trojans not letting the Bulls keep it. They've got numbers again. Exceptional energy on the defensive end. They have been stout, and they've held the Bulls to just 4 goals in this game. Branson team that can score, but they have been unable to so far. So we are nearing the halfway point of this 4th quarter. Centers, fires, scores! It's not over yet. The Bulls cut it to 2. Once again, it's Grant. He's got a hat trick on the night. And so we approach 3 minutes remaining. The Bulls certainly will need to increase their energy. Trailing still by 2, but by no means is this one sealed in the record books. 7-5. Mentioning the MCS wrestling, that will conclude tomorrow night with semifinals, 3rd place matches, and championship matches. And Petaluma hoping to send a boys wrestler to state for the first time this decade, and maybe 3 of them. And Prieto, Pedersen, and Trave. A couple other boys wrestlers are still alive as well in the Constellation bracket, with still slim chances to make state if something crazy happens, but some good performances by 11 wrestlers sent to James Logan High School on the boys' side, and on the girls' side, it's been good news as well for Petaluma. So the Bulls getting some more action here, looking to cut it to 1. Fired, scored! What a move, falling to the ground, but placing it perfectly in the right-hand corner and cutting the lead to 1 in the waning moments. Scott Roach has a spectacular goal, and suddenly a Trojan lead that with 1 more goal leading by 3 would salt the game away is down to 1. Kevin Loachis wants timeout, and it's time for nail-biting time here at Steve Ellison Field. It's Petaluma 7, Branson 6. The lead cut to 1. Every time the Trojans have been able to find a response. Find something, dig deep, but will they be able to this time as the pressure's on in the waning moments here? Expecting a thrilling finish to this one. We mentioned the Trojan schedule earlier, and we will continue to have coverage of Petaluma Lacrosse, both boys and girls, throughout the season. Stay right here on our YouTube channel. Anything posted, you subscribe, you get an email when we post any video. So if you're a lacrosse fan, you can also check out our lacrosse playlist we have, and we'll have all our lacrosse games that we're out covering, offering play-by-play of right on our channel. Foul on Branson. Petaluma ball. The waning moments of this one. At this point, we don't have a clock. It's only approximations. I think it's under 2 minutes. But it's hard to say exactly. The players are going to be asking the refs frequently at this point. Trojans can take their time if they want, but don't want to sacrifice that for opportunities. And Gonzalez was stripped. Branson's got an opportunity here for the equalizer. Centered, deflected up in the air, still loose, but picked up. Nice deflection there by the Trojan defender. They get it to Cher, and Cher can set up his offense. In no rush, but he gets it out quick. Gonzalez playing footsie with the ball. And it's Branson ball. That's a mistake you do not want to see. Near the Trojans, sloppy drop at midfield gives the ball right back to the Bulls. Now Branson have trailed the whole game. Do they have a comeback in them? A team out of Marin County. Time out is called. Waning moments. Branson trying to tie. Just saw Scher make the save there as Branson out of the timeout gets aggressive. But Zach Scher with the big save, and now Petaluma can push it up. In these waning moments, they can take their time now. Zach Scher with maybe a game-winning save, and now we have a penalty coming out. Penalty on the Bulls, and the Trojans, whenever the ball hits the ground, will be able to go a man up. Not what you want if you're Branson. Zach Scher with big save. Branson got a good look out of the timeout. Knocked away there, and that will now be the stoppage as the ball hits the ground. I think Athletic Director Rick Christ, who's covering me up here. The rain is turning into a downpour now, and certainly affecting the players. The wind is picked up as well, blowing left to right across the field. The Trojans will be a man up with the penalty in the final moments here in their season opener.
Let's go, beat down on. Close it down.
To the X.
Move it.
Trying to do a nice job keeping that ball moving, staying active. At this point, you want to run time, move it around, and Branson's got to start getting more aggressive. Got to double team, try to force a steal. Find some way to get the ball back. Becomes desperate time. They're going to put an extra defender up. You can see Petaluma absolutely in no rush. As you can see the rain pounding down on this artificial turf. A whistle, and I believe the Trojans had 11 men on the field there. Player didn't get off in time. Branson, though, still down a man. They get another chance here. Trojans making it hard for Branson even to get it up. Did an excellent job all evening doing that. And they take it away. Excellent job by Petaluma, not even giving an opportunity there. A hard play at midfield, and it's Petaluma ball to the perplexion of Branson. It is absolutely pouring now. That's kind of what it's been all day. We've seen hail, downpour, sun. Was overcast at the start of this one. This is going to be hard to handle the ball here as Petaluma just tries to keep possession. It heads out of bounds, but will stay. Oh, I thought it would stay Trojan ball. Branson got to it first. They're going to rule. The Bulls have no time to waste. The Nerds have to be high in the season opener. We have another whistle, and we have another timeout by head coach Cal Kennedy of the Bulls. 7-6 in the final moments of the fourth quarter. Can Petaluma hold on for a season opening victory? 28 seconds remaining as the rain pours down at Steve Ellison Field. Branson will have the ball. They know the time now. And we'll see if their experienced squad, head coach Cal Kennedy, has drawn up a play to try to score on Zach Scher, who's done an excellent job tonight. For the most part, pitched a shutout in the first half. He can limit Branson to just 6 goals in this game. It would be a remarkable effort. Branson scores. We would head to a sudden death overtime. Down to 20 seconds. Tipping and darting. Fires. Scores! The Bulls have tied it at the death. 15 seconds remaining. And Branson has done just what we foretold. They dropped the play in the top shelf finish, as it was Branson's really the player they run all their offense through in George, who scored the equalizer in the first time all game since it was 0-0. We are tied. That is heartbreaking. Petaluma still got about 15 seconds left for a shot. Otherwise, we had to do a sudden death overtime, something Petaluma was very good in last year. They won twice in sudden death overtime. We mentioned both of them late in the year. And now a foul on Petaluma, too. This can translate to overtime if Branson doesn't score here. Fire dangerously. Cher has quite an adventure with it at the net. Scoops it up, but now Petaluma players, and I think it's going to be more than one, are going to be heading to the penalty box. And with must be under 10 seconds left, will translate to overtime. Petaluma led 7-4, and they had a couple good looks at leading by 4 goals and essentially putting this game away. But a 3-goal scoring run has tied this game up. Unbelievable by Branson. So just one Trojan in the box. They'll play with 9 men for the remainder of regular time.
Slow it down, Blue! Slow it down!
And that is it. 48 minutes, not enough to decide things here from Steve Ellison Field. We'll play at most a 4-minute overtime. A golden goal is how overtime works. The tension ratcheting up even another level here. Can Petaluma turn themselves around from a heartbreaking goal there with 20 seconds left to tie up this game, a game they controlled. They had really answered Branson all night long when the Bulls had cut it close. But finally this time the Trojans were unable to offensively get an answer. And the Bulls really got into their best rhythm offensively of the night. Found some openings and made Zach Shear, the Trojan senior goalie, who's been so good most of the game, look human. And the energy all on Branson's side. Head coach Kevin Loach's longtime boys lacrosse coach has got to collect the troops, reset them, short-term memory loss, and focus on this. And for the 10 returners on the Trojans, what they should be putting in the back of their mind is what they've done in overtime. They did last year. Trojans were 2-0 in overtime last year, both on early goals. They are going to have to deal being a man down for the first about minute 30 of this overtime. Again, first goal wins it. Schaefer, who is in the dunce cap position in the box. And because of that, Branson will start with the ball. Season opening game, a chance to set a tone for both Petaluma and Branson on this Friday night in February. Petaluma doesn't play for another 2 weeks as well. This one could sting for a long while. The Bulls swing it. Rain intensifying as they center it. It's an exceptional job by the Petaluma defense and Garrett Freitas, who deflects it. And the fight on this now soaked field. And it has to be odd for the players. They played in dry conditions for nearly the entire game, but not here. Exceptional job finding a player in the crease, but the Petaluma defense was ready. Share with the contact, and George scores! And Branson has won. The rain intensifies. The Trojan fans will walk home feeling drenched and sorrowful. What a comeback for Branson as they celebrate, and a disappointment for Petaluma in their season opener. They dominated for most of the night, but in the end, you got to finish, and the Trojans unable to tonight. They fall a final score in overtime. Branson 8, Petaluma 7 interviews are next.
We're here with Jacob Daniele after a heartbreaking loss for Petaluma. You guys were in control for most of this game. What happened in those last 3 minutes that Branson cut a 3-goal deficit and won it in overtime?
I feel like we just got in our heads too much, especially towards the end of the game, started dropping passes, starting forcing the ball around, and I feel like that's just something we can only work on in practice and just try and do better for the rest of the season.
It was the season opener for you guys, game very early in the year against an experienced team. What do you think you learned about the team tonight?
Well, I feel like we learned that we need to just be practicing outside of practice, be working with all the guys, just trying to build team chemistry. I mean, we're a young team. We lost a lot of seniors last year, so just try and mesh better together for the rest of the season.
You guys were very efficient, especially in that third quarter. You had a couple goals. How are you guys able to get the offense and rhythm, and how are you especially able to find that rhythm?
Well, I feel like one goal just led to the next, and, we just kept on, building off how we were doing the previous play and just trying to help everybody out, not trying to be selfish, just moving the ball.
Thank you so much, Jacob. Okay. Zach Scher, after Petaluma falls in a heartbreaker to Branson. You guys were dominant, especially defensively, and with you and net in that first half didn't allow a goal. How are you guys able to really shut down Branson in that first half?
It really just had to do with coordinating and talking it up. And I think they made a decent amount of mistakes in the first half too, and I think we just capitalized on that.
Seemed like the rain started falling and things really changed, especially Branson really got into a rhythm offensively. When that happens in the future, how do you guys want to limit them and you personally in that?
Honestly, we need to just be paying more attention to off-ball people who don't have the ball. And there was a lot of people that were open in the middle, and we weren't looking around enough.
You're one of the senior leaders on this team, and especially as a goalkeeper. How do you plan to use your experience this year in the net?
Honestly, I hope I can be a leader and just help the other ones who are coming up out and just try my best.
Senior year, what are your goals for the season as you look from a broad perspective?
Try to do good in league and get a pennant.
Thank you so much, Zach. That's going to do it here from Steve Ellison Field. A heartbreaking loss for Petaluma. 8-7 the final in overtime. With 8 minutes left in this game, we had a dry field. Petaluma had the ball, a couple chances, with leading by 3. It really looked like the Trojans, if they could just add one more, would certainly salt away the game and get a huge season-opening victory. All of a sudden, the rain started pouring. Branson of Ross got 1 goal, and the rain took all the goals with it. Suddenly, a deluge of goals. They score a final goal with 20 seconds left to tie the game, send it to overtime, and just 30 seconds in, Branson with the winner. All the momentum shifted to them, and a couple times throughout this game, Branson had trouble getting into a rhythm, and Trojans would always answer, but finally in the fourth quarter, Branson put it all together. They're a good, experienced team. Petaluma a little bit younger, and their inexperience finally showed late in this one. Petaluma will have plenty of time to heal their wounds as they don't play again for another 2 weeks, and they will be back home in March, and we will continue to have coverage of Petaluma Lacrosse as they improve over the course of their season. That's going to do it here from Steve Ellison Field. Don't forget to tune into girls soccer tomorrow night, NCS playoffs. For everyone here at, oh, hey, Garrett.
Go Trojans.
Thanks, Garrett. That's Garrett Freitas, who had a big game tonight. I'm Griffin Epstein for everyone here at Trojan Live. Thank you so much for tuning in. Final score in overtime, Branson 8, Petaluma 7. Good night, everyone.